being a Christian? Is it between you and God, or do other people have something to do with it too? Are we supposed to talk about our faith with other people or open up about what God is doing in our lives? Let's talk about it. Faith is personal. It feels so personal. It gets into our hearts. It changes the way we think. It digs up the things that we would prefer to stay buried. It transforms us from the inside out. What could other people possibly have to do with that process? During Jesus' time on earth, he spent 3 years being followed around by his disciples, plus many, many other people. He taught them, but he also lived a life with them, sharing meals with them, attending services with them, mourning with them. They were all in community together. But that community didn't end after Jesus returned to heaven. Once Jesus had left, Acts 2 says this, "And all the believers met together in one place, sharing everything they had. They sold their property and possessions and shared the money to help those in need. They worshiped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity, all the while praising God and enjoying the goodwill of all people. And each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved." This isn't a picture of believers whose faith is only between themselves and Jesus. These believers were practicing their faith together, caring for one another, worshiping together, eating together, and so much more. These kinds of relationships are necessary for our faith. Jesus and these believers understood something 2,000 years ago that can be hard for us to grasp today, especially if we come from cultures more focused on individuals. We need other people. Love is central to what it means to follow Jesus, and it's nearly impossible to learn and grow in love if we never open up ourselves to others. Communities of believers have taken many forms over the centuries. Something called monastic communities are made up of men and women who withdraw from society in order to serve God and study the Bible. Often, it's alongside one another. On the other hand, we have congregational communities, and those are the ones seen in most churches today. They provide space for people who work outside of the church to meet together, worship together, and be known by one another. While Christian communities have changed in appearance and practice over the years, our need for people has never wavered. So we need each other, but it can be easy to live around people without actually knowing them, right? So how can we make sure we're actually growing in love and deepening our faith? Here are 3 practices that can help point you in the right direction. First, hospitality. Depending on whether you grew up in church and what kind of church you grew up in, when you hear the word hospitality, you might think hospitality is just inviting people into your home and making them food. But the practice is so much broader than that. Hospitality is about helping people feel safe and welcomed, the way Jesus made people around him feel. When we love other people and share what we have with them, we show them the same love and generosity that God shows us. Caring for poor people, lost people, and hurting people is of special importance to God, and when we show hospitality, we become more like him. Second, mentoring. Professional mentoring is a well-known practice, and spiritual mentoring in many ways looks very similar. It's all about 2 or more people meeting together with one person sharing what they learned, and everyone typically grows as a result of that relationship. Spiritual mentoring, of course, just focuses more on the areas of getting to know God better and living more like Jesus. When you meet with a spiritual mentor, you may talk about growing in areas like prayer, or forgiveness, or even love. Third, service. Are you looking for a fast track to community? Serve people with other people. In doing so, you end up meeting and investing in the lives of 2 different groups of people, those you're serving and those you're serving with. While serving, you're also more likely to meet people whose interests and areas of passion align and intersect with your own. Finding common interests with other people is one of the best ways of finding friends that you can open up to and do life with. For many of us, finding community will always feel a little awkward. Believe me, especially in the beginning. But friends are important, both for us personally and for our faith. And these relationships will not happen unless we take the step of reaching out to somebody else. But no matter how difficult it might feel as you're just getting started, the results will always be worth it. Friends, next up, we're talking all about rest. Click this video to find out more.